Hi, I'm back again, and wouldn't you know it, I'm talking about one of my favorite games again. Today I want to make a ranking of every mission in Jak 3. First of all, I didn't realize that there are 60 missions in this game. Like, that feels like a lot. But there's also a lot of missions that like lead into each other and that I wouldn't have necessarily considered separate missions. But I'm going off of what the game considers to be a singular mission. So when you do Monk Temple tests, it leads into Subrails, into Ecomine, into Bomb Train, into Precursor Robot, but they're all separate missions. They experimented with a lot of different mechanics here, and they threw so many things at the wall, and for a lot of them they didn't even bother waiting for it to stick because they then already moved on to something else. But also a lot of the time they do like entry-level things of a new mechanic to bring it back later, and I think that's really cool, and that's how you should be doing game design. So because the missions are so varied, it's kind of hard to rank them and compare them to each other. But I think I came up with a pretty good list that I feel good about for now. Like, it might just change depending on the day, but this is what we're going with. So without further ado, let's see it. Oh yeah, definitely spoilers all over this video. What the fuck, man? This is easily the worst mission in the game. They brought back the clunky robot from Jak 2 with all its clunky glory and special feature, pick up a cube. And then they make you do an obstacle course with it. With the clunkiest jumping mechanics ever onto moving platforms. The combat is boring and not engaging. Shooting these bombs at a target is also not fun. I don't know, man, I just fall asleep during this mission. It's so boring. Please get it out of my sight. So they took Pac-Man and the DK64 minecart mayhem minigame and mashed it together into a thing that I really don't like. I don't know, I think it's just something about my brain, but I just cannot figure out a way to be good at this, and it's not fun, and I'm stressed, and oh my god, I don't want to get eaten by the robofish. At least it doesn't take too long. That's all I really have to say about it. This one's a little interesting because it has driving in it, awesome, and it has levers in it, awesome, but it's just broken. I mean, you have to drive so close to the levers that you fucking kill them sometimes. Sometimes Daxter really doesn't want to get onto them. And then even then, when you make it onto a lever and you coral it, you only have to do it 3 times and then the mission is over and then you never do this again.
One more! Bon appetit!
Kangarots is not a bad mission. It's just not very interesting. I mean, it's a really early game mission, but there's really not much to it. The only cool thing is that you can also just shoot and kill the Kangarots. And there is a hero mode strategy where you just supernova kill them immediately. That's really funny.
Meow!
In theory, this mission should be very cool. You're on a mission with Zig again, and you're in this super duper tank of a car, but this car is really slow. And the cave is not really interesting besides some hidden orbs that you only get if you actually go out of your car in this, but you're never required to leave your car in these missions in the caves. The speedrun route to optimally take out the eggs is pretty cool, but that's about it. Like, the most interesting part about it is how little of it you have to play because you can just restart mission to warp yourself further out of the cave again. And this, whatever this is. They did it! They made the jetboard boring! I just don't like going slow on the jetboard, and you have to constantly refuel your green eco to then take out like 1,000 of these plants. I heard that there's actually a nice route that makes this a more fun stage, but for now, I'm recognizing that I'm not good at this and I'm rating it low. This is by no means a bad mission, but if I ever compare it to any of the other missions, I think I would just rather not play this one. It's an auto-scroller, and it's pretty boring. I mean, the vibes are immaculate, the view is amazing, but the gameplay, yeah, no thanks. My favorite part about this is actually just shooting the final ring to make this funny sound.
Okay, I picked 3.
Hey, it's the worst of the 3 Marauder Arena missions. I don't like the shape of this arena. It's very big and it's pretty hard to get to the enemies. I mean, not like hard, but it takes a while because the arena is so big. The best part about it is not even gameplay related, and it's the fact that Zig is here.
Don't you two look sorrier than ever?
My name is Skyler White, yo.
It's another stinker! But I can't really hate it because you can literally just shoot the beam reflexor until you're out of ammo and you will beat the level, even shooting all the civilians in the process. And I guess I have to add points because the constant beam reflexor sound is satisfying to me. So yeah, there's actually absolutely nothing to this gun course unless you actually want to not use the beam reflexor for some reason and then make it an actual level. But I choose to believe that this is the way God intended. This is a very long turret section, and I'm rating this as the lowest turret section in the game. Mostly because it's very long and also way too easy. Like half the missiles the metalheads shoot are just going past your car and you don't have to worry about them. And the auto aim does so much work for you, like they really made this too easy. Maybe they thought they have to make it easy because it's so long, but I don't know, I've never failed this one. This is a pretty cool mission. I like the unique overhead view when you have to push the buttons and then take out the cannon. But it comes out to being a little too easy and there's not much to it. Overall, it's pretty cool though. So far I've been mostly saying negative things about these missions, and there are negative things to point out, but I want to make sure that you know that I don't think that most of these missions are actually bad. They're just not as good as the others. I think Jak 3 just has a very stacked lineup of great missions. And as the list goes on, the missions will only get better, so I also have more things to say about them. Coming right off the driving tutorial and the desert race, there's more racing to be had, but this is not as good as the desert race. This is not to downplay this mission, but desert race is just better. And you're still driving the stupid little buggy without a gun in this, so you can't even make cool moves with boosts after you kill a marauder. So you're just driving, and that's pretty much it. Sometimes the marauders get in your way, but yeah, you're kinda just driving.
Where do you come from?
Out of the 2 Metalhead Cave missions, I like this one more, because you're actually going through all of the cave. And there's a little more to it because the metal pieces actually move around and you're not just going through the motions of shooting stationary eggs. But other than that, it is still a mission in the Gila Stomper in the Metalhead Cave, which is not that cool. As I've said before, it's just the cave. We're back in the forest and there's tons of dark makers to be killed. They brought back the turret from Jak 2, you know, with the same interface and the non-regenerating health bars, but it doesn't really matter because there's multiple cannons and no matter how much these guys attack you, you can kind of just leave it at low HP and then just go to the next one because you just have to kill these thingies on the wall and just hope that the dark makers don't kill you in the process. It is kind of funny to see them actually man the cannons themselves though, and actually really beat you up. So yeah, in terms of turret section missions, this is better than Metalhead's 2. It's more dynamic, it's more interesting, and there's also just regular combat in between, and you're in the forest. The forest always gets bonus points.
I never said you could touch me there.
It's kind of easy to play this mission off as a just spam the beam reflexer and then it'll eventually end. But like, yeah, kinda, but also, what I like about this is the aspect of, you know, you, especially like in the speed run, you want to finish this fast, so you want to kill the guys as fast as possible, so you want to keep spinning, so you actually have to look around and maneuver around the marauders into the blaster pickups to continuously be able to shoot. It's also really funny how Ashlyn's health, like, seemingly never goes down. Like, you can beat her up and nothing will happen to her. But yeah, I like how you have to actually do something and not just have this combat situation solved by beam reflexing until it's over, because then you don't have enough ammo for it. Another interesting thing about this mission is that the ammo pickups actually give you a lot more ammo in this mission only.
Resistance is futile.
Now on the surface, this might just be another one of those combat missions where you don't really have to do much because it kind of plays itself with how strong they made all these weapons. But that is only the tip of the iceberg. What elevates this mission is the existence of none other than Terry. So these ships continuously spawn Crimson Guard robots, and by courtesy of Haven City's leading Terry spotter, Woden, we have footage of a very big robot coming out of those.
Oh! Holy fucking shit! Oh my god! Yoink it right in front of me! Holy shit! No way! Bro! That's wild! Yo! Look at... Yo, he's freaking sick, dog! Dude! Oh my god!
So this is a really rare chance. It's estimated to be 1 in 1,000, but how cool is that? So people go out of their way to prolong this mission as long as possible to spawn as many robots as you can at an off chance of getting one of these guys. They have very special properties compared to normal little guy robots, and I mean, it's just super fucking cool. Unfortunately, I can't find very many things to say about this. Daxter's on a missile and he's going. I just think this is a really solid, a really fun mission. And I don't know if I would like more of these kinds of missions, but as a one-up, I mean, this is just really cool. I don't know. I just think they're neat.
Hey, Miku. Yeah, fuck. Whoa, let watch. I am now.
Hey, would you look at that? It's another one-off mechanic that they definitely never did again. They did polish the controls for this, though. It feels good. It feels nice. The rockets feel really good. But once again, there's not much to it. You just fly around the fortress and destroy the thingies that are there. The enemies are basically negligible. The only way that you're actually going to take damage is scraping the walls. That will kill you really fast. The second of the War Amulet missions. I actually like this one, because I'm a big fan of the wave compressor. I like the big arena where you can beat a lot of enemies at once. That's kind of all I have to say about it. It's pretty good. Ah yes, the driving tutorial. Together with the desert race. I really like this one. Even though you're driving this stupid little useless buggy, I like this one. I was a big fan of the Zoomer races in Jak 2, and I'm glad they just brought some more racing back into this. Definitely not Jak X foreshadowing in this one. The racetrack is neat, and there are a lot of little ramps where you can use your booster and extend it with airtime. What I think is funny is when you beat the race and it shows you this end screen and Jak just automatically starts driving. he will drive forever. You could just let him drive around the racetrack forever. It's really funny. But yeah, also the tutorial comes down to a really satisfying sequence of learning how to control the car. What I would like they touch on is that I don't think it's mentioned anywhere in the game, but you know when your car is airborne, you can change the orientation of the car by using your control stick. So you can kind of counteract toppling over. I learned that through Jak 3 speedrunning, and I think that's actually really useful when getting around in the desert in a car. Especially with the dune hopper. Ah yes, the subrails. I really like this, but it's like, it's so easy and there's really not much to it, but it just feels nice to go fast and spam the shit out of the R1 button. Like the only way to do this any faster is to lean your vehicle in the direction that the turn is going. But actually, no, actually there is another way that I am not good enough to pull off, so we have some speedrunners going for this a lot. Where you turn the vehicle upside down and it then just goes at max speed.
Watch this. What the fuck? Dude, I actually did it!
And the only reason I'm ranking this one lower than Subrails 2 is because it's really short and there's less of the video game in this mission. Yay, it's the fun one of the 2 mandatory gun courses in the game, because you get to use red weapons. I love the wave concussor, you might have noticed that. And what I failed to mention in the first gun course part is I do think that beating up these cardboard cutouts is really satisfying. I love the sound design of it. It feels really nice, and shooting them with a wave concussor is also really nice. And I feel like a lot of people might have not known this, but yeah, you can totally just melee these guys, and that's actually really useful. Actually getting gold score in this is pretty hard. I haven't managed that before, I think. I ranked this one the highest of the War Amulet missions for one simple reason. Speedrunning. The sequence that you follow when you speedrun this game is so satisfying. Like, you shotgun them and punch to the next guy. Shotgun and punch to the next guy as fast as you can, and it feels so nice. Like, this simple stage is so satisfying to me. I love it. Whoa, they got tower defense in this? To defend the asparagus door, you can choose any vehicle that you want, but you can also just entirely trivialize the process by picking the dune hopper and just blowing the shit out of the marauders. I like the unique marauder car with the trebuchet or whatever it is on them, but it kind of falls on the easy side. Like, I feel like you can just entirely ignore the burning carts and just go for the big boys, and then you're kind of just, then you're already done. What do you want me to say that I didn't already say in the Subrails Part 1 part? This is Subrails 1, but longer, and thus cooler and better, because I like this gameplay loop, so give me more of it. Thank you! This is even more tower defense. I feel like this feels more like an actual tower defense kind of mission where you let Jinx do his thing and you just make sure to kill all the incoming middle heads and Crimson Guard robots. I like the combat in the game. This has combat. What's not to like? Oh yeah, it's just that, I mean, you have to drive the guy around and make sure not to crash the car as well. I guess that's part of it too. But we're really here for shooting stuff. So first in my tentative ranking off memory, I ranked this one super low because I didn't know how to do it. The last time I played it, I somehow missed the giant targets on the enemies. So I was shooting at these guys for like 10 minutes and wondering why they wouldn't die. But after figuring out that you can dispose of these giant dark makers rather quickly, this becomes a much more enjoyable mission and definitely one of the better turret sections in the game. This one gets a ton of points for vibes and atmosphere. Not that it's like anything special being in the desert, but like you're out to shoot some big fucking game. So you hop in your car with a gun and oh my god, these guys are big. They didn't seem so big in the Metalheads 2 mission, but that was also a turret section. As a kid, I always struggled hitting these, but once I realized that if you just step off the gas, you won't slide when you move left to right, it makes it really easy to hit them. But you're saying, oh, you're just in the desert, you're just shooting at 4 guys, and that's it. But what makes it so cool is when you hit one of those, how the camera goes all cinematic mode as it yeets you so far away. That's so awesome. Usually they don't even deal much damage to you, but sometimes they can insta-kill you. So for that alone, this mission gets a lot of points for me. Rescue Scene at the Temple is a platforming section, and those are my favorite parts of the game. So you will be seeing a lot of those in the latter half of the list. But this is definitely the lowest of them all. It's still pretty good. Yeah, that's about it too. Ooh, I really like this one for both of its aspects. For the combat and the driving. So there we were, head to head with the nastiest marauders I've ever seen. Razor sharp chrome gleaming in the dark and you know what I'm getting at. It's Jak and Daxter against the world in their own stronghold. And after you beat them all up, they're just leaving, so go after them. It's actually a rather tight time limit if you don't manage to get boosters from the other marauders. But my favorite thing to do is to just trick shot kill the targets out of the air. Like, bam, that's so cool.
Oh yeah, you're firing him up.
Please wait.
I wish there was more to this mission. It's so cool. I really like the idea of this metalhead habitat, but it's empty. There's nothing there. Put something in it. Don't make me go slow in the jetboard. Make something. Please. I do have to rate this high though, because you have the jetboard. Like, that's gotta come for something. And it is a platforming section, so yeah, that immediately makes it pretty good. Ooh, this vehicle can steer. I wish all the other Zoomers had this kind of handling. Holy shit. I really like how it makes you navigate the first part perfectly, otherwise you die without a checkpoint. But then the second part, the time limit is broken, so if you keep dying, it keeps adding time to the time limit forever. So it's only as difficult as you make it, basically. And I really like these comically large arrows telling you where to go that are never ever anywhere else in the game. For me, what makes a mission good is all about how it feels. So definitely the Defense Spargus turret mission and Metalheads 2 are way more substantial and significant, but this turret challenge just does it for me. Like, it's so satisfying to shoot these targets, and it's the entry-level turret section to introduce the mechanic. Like, this just really tickles my brain. This is the turret section to end all turret sections. It's quite long, but I love taking the trip through Haven City with the lads. Like, I wouldn't say this is a very difficult mission, but somehow you just end up losing HP. Like, there's really barely any time for some of these to dispose of before they get a hit on you. But at least there is a checkpoint halfway through when you make it to the dock, or port, or whatever this water place is called. And it's like, it definitely goes longer than it has to. Like, the Torn, you missed your turn. Where are you going, buddy? The wrong way. Okay, we're taking the scenic route through, just up the towers and around and... okay, all right, I'll believe in your vision. So yeah, in the last attempt, I just, over the course of the mission, I just lost a bunch of health, kind of out of nowhere, and then at the end, these little hits jump right on you, and it's really hard to avoid damage, and I died right before the end. I like this mission because it's funny. Oh, these big blast birds are coming for the naughty xoxo. Oh no! You gotta kill them before they get there! But I feel like they really didn't test that you can just spin on these guys a couple times and they just get destroyed immediately. And that's kind of just the end of it. I do like the little throwback to the Mars Tomb Baron Praxis boss fight with the bombs that it dropped that you can kick back to it. But yeah, I think this is just really funny how quickly you can finish this mission. This one is loads better than Artifacts 1 because you have a car with a gun and you can shoot the marauders. And I really like how they routed the artifacts to be in a place where you have to take these super cool ramp jumps. Oh yeah, this is some good driving. You can use this to repel any Jack speedrunner that you come across. It's like garlic for vampires. But I really like this mission. As an avid Onan's Game and Jack 2 enjoyer, this just puts me right back there. It's different, but it's really cool. And oh, I wish there was more of it. Oh, just go into the desert and play the infinite version of it. Yeah. I'm a really big fan of the boss fights in this game. I always really liked it when they don't have you outright just fight a guy by punching and shooting him, but you have to solve their riddles 3 and then you do like an external mechanic to damage them. I really like that. But if I have to compare them to the Precursor, Robot, and the Dark Maker, this one is definitely the lowest of the boss fights. Still very good though.
1, 2, 3.
This is one of the easiest missions in the game, but oh, does it feel great to steer one of those bots and beat up the other Crimson Guard robots with it. Oh, this is just so cool, just like on a conceptual level. Woo! I really wish they explored this more. This is so cool. But yeah, you walk, you shoot, that's it, and you never do it again. Blech. And if you ever thought of taking the upper route, you can't get off unless you take the ramp back down. They just don't let you fall with this guy. The 3 sewer levels are really great. They're really nice platforming and combat sections. I really like getting through these. But Sewers 3 is easily the weakest of the 3. I don't know, it just doesn't have as many cool things as the other 2, and it's kind of short. Oh yeah, you finally made it to the Metalhead Tower to destroy it. Wait, where did all the Metalheads go? Did the Dark Makers kill all of them? And how come this level is kind of just a really big empty space where you just have to kill a bunch of Dark Makers? Don't get me wrong, the combat is nice as always, but this... I remember as a kid that there was way more to this mission than there actually is. Like, there's actually, like, no platforming in this. Yes! yes, this is a boss fight! It's satisfying to dodge the attacks that it throws at you, and then somehow it summons Dark Makers. Don't worry about that. It summons these platforms so you can get up there and shoot the bomb trains onto it to damage it. That's so cool. Like, this is not a very complex boss or a very hard boss either, but it just feels so cool. Ooh, yee. Also, yeah, you can totally only climb on the third one each time and still hit the trains. Yeah, as a kid I always struggled to make it up to the fifth one in time. That was always a little stressful. Oh, if you think this is anything like Artifacts 1 and 2, oh boy, oh, you're in for a treat. Woo! It starts off as this regular mission of like, oh, get the guy from the desert into the safe transporter. Get the guy again. Get another guy. Yeah, that's all cool. Like, that's already a good mission right there. Like, that's cool. You know, driving in the car, you drive in the car and that's awesome. But then when you get to rescue the last guy, you see how your timer goes from like 1.5 minutes to like 4 minutes. You're like, holy shit, how far away is this guy? And you don't even see the beam of light on your screen. And so you keep driving and driving and driving, and then you make it to the oasis, and oh fuck, he's dead. Oh shit, it's a fucking satellite, and oh my god, now you have to beat this little mini boss here, and it's a really cool boss fight. Like, you gotta stay inside the ring and not get hit, and then you have a chance to hit it when it comes down. All the while the timer is still ticking down, so you better hurry up and do it. And when you finally beat the boss, the timer is still going, so you gotta hop back into your car and drive through the thickest sandstorm back to Spargus. Like, oh, that is so cool. Like they don't tell you about any of this. It's just like, yeah, just rescue a couple of guys, please. And then you're accidentally in one of the best missions ever. Oh, I love it.
Oh, she's only 17.
Leapers are awesome. Shoutouts to Leapers. And in this mission, they actually give you a special leaper that's only for this mission that just kills everything in sight. Like, you just run over civilians like it's nothing. And the NPCs that you're racing against also just mercilessly murder the citizens. But yeah, about the gameplay, like, this is a leaper ring challenge race. So it's once you know where to go, like the layout of the rings, it's really satisfying to do this, and it's actually kind of a difficult mission, especially so early in the game. Getting good at the leaper movement in this mission is really satisfying. And this mission houses one of the best cutscene moments in the entire series.
This isn't a game.
Breakthrough Ruins is one of the bangerest car missions out there. It's also fun to do without a car if you're an epic gamer speedrunner, but I'm looking at it as intended in the car. So this is like the Hila Stopper, but good. Like, this car can drive, this car can pack a punch, and oh baby, this is a true off-road car. I mean, how else are you gonna get through all these ruins here? Like, the boost feels really satisfying, and I'm so glad they gave it infinite boosts. I really like making these jumps in the final room, and the gun on the car actually feels substantial. Overall, this is a great mission. Hell yeah.
Day 15! Give it up for day 15!
Right after BTR, we have the mission that comes before BTR. The mission known as the place that never has any enemies in it, right? But yeah, I'm beating it without storing a side mission and despawning every enemy in the area, which makes it really easy. But oh yeah, this is like a peak mission. Hella combat, hella platforming, and just the atmosphere is nuts. Oh my god, you're back at the stadium from Jak 2, but it's all broken. There are some really cool jetboard sections here. Some that are not even intended to be jetboard section, but that's what I do. But yeah, overall, unfortunately, it doesn't hold a candle to the platforming sections that are rated higher than this one. This is such a little guy mission. Like, this is a really short mission. Like, you arrive at the temple, you get up there, and then you're in the glider mission. Like, it's a different mission already. But this climb is really great. I really like it. I love this sequence. It also really reminds me of the Jack to Mars tomb climbing sections. It's just really cool. Yeah. The sewers. Ah, it's like coming home. Great platforming, great combat. I'm a big fan of these water sections that you have to traverse with the jetboard. Yeah, this is just better than Sewers 3, what can I say? And not as good as Sewers 2, so stay tuned for that. Talk about satisfying. To start the game off with this mission is so good. Yeah, just learn how to walk and run and roll. But yeah, actually this just manages to be one of the most satisfying platforming sequences in the entire game, right out of the gate, setting the bar real high. But my favorite thing to do in this mission is skipping the elevator upwards and just grabbing onto the pipes and getting up this way. We're finally here. Sewers 2. I love this mission. For all of its cool little platforming parts and all these closed-up combat parts. And I love this on-rails section where this gun is shooting at you constantly, but I also just love not taking the platform and just walking on the rails. Also, look at this gun. I think this is really funny. I love this.
Here I go. I win.
This is also not a very long mission coming off a volcano, especially if you do it the way I do it. But yeah, this has the really cool section with these turrets that insta-kill you, so you can just... What they want you to do is go invisible and take them out with the dark bomb, but I like doing the beam reflexer and stand behind a pillar and then they don't see you. And then there's this pole swing section, but I can't help it. I just want to skip it with the wave concussor every time. Very cool and satisfying feeling. Sharing the location with the worst mission in the game, but actually being really good. Incredible. Ooh, this is such a cool mission. Remember when I said, oh, I wish they did more with infiltrating the dark ship? Well, here it is. But this time with satisfying controls because you play as Jack. The timer adds some urgency to it, but it's not really a tight time limit, really. But yeah, these sections all feel great, where you have to take out these enemies for the doors to open. And then to top it all off, you do a victory lap as Light Jack flying to the end. And then the whole thing falls apart and you have to get out of there. And that section is also really fun, but also can be kind of annoying when the debris just flies in your face and pushes you back. Oh, you just unlocked the jetboard, and wouldn't you know it, there's the perfect jetboard introduction stage coming right after. This is peak platforming, like, ooh, baby. The section with the Tide Pods is actually really fun to go through, and then when you make it upstairs and they want you to use the light jack that slows down time, you can also kind of just yeet through it if you're good enough and lucky. And there's a thing that I can't pull off that speedrunners use, which is super duper cool, where you use the wave concussor to just go under these things and skip one section entirely. Man, I gotta get this consistently. This is so cool. The final boss of the game. I remember struggling so hard to do the car section of this mission as a kid. Like, oh my god, it was so difficult. But there is such a nice sequence for speedrunning that just makes this such a nice and satisfying stage. And then you get to the main course. This boss fight is so cool. It's... ooh, baby. There are so many stages to it and there's so much combat to do. Like, there's so many enemies to kill here and there's so many attacks to dodge from the Dark Maker. I don't know, man. It's just really good. I don't know what else to say. Ooh, we're in my favorite location in the game. This is so cool. I don't know. I can't put it into words. I just love this so much. But it's kind of funny how you don't even have to aim your shots at the gates to lower the thing to make the bomb train go. You just beam reflexors so hard that you accidentally finish the mission early sometimes. But yeah, timed, awesome platforming. Fuck yeah. Top tier. I feel like I've gotten less and less coherent the longer the list goes on, but like, I'm just so enthusiastic about these missions, but it's like so hard to form the words. This one is another one. Oh my god, this is just peak platforming. Like, oh, you get to play as Daxter. That's so awesome. And it like, oh, it does the perfect thing of like the first Daxter section is easy and then they get increasingly more difficult and the platforming is so nice and the combat is so nice. And then what did they do? Why are they in jail? But oh my god, you get to the end and there's a car. You get a car that steers amazing and it has this super cool boost and oh, you can break through these gates. Oh, you're doing the whole track again, but like you're cutting through everything in the car. Oh, this is so fucking awesome. Only so you can break through the last barrier and get to the elevator that you actually need to go to. Wow, this is so fucking cool. This is an awesome mission in the forest on its own with the jetboard ring challenges. This is super cool. But what makes this one of my favorites of all time is the self-imposed challenge of trying to beat these ring challenges without using the jetboard. I've managed to beat every single one of these except for the fourth one. That one is so rough, like I don't even know if it's possible because there's so much water and you're so much slower in the water without a jetboard, but it's so fun. It's so satisfying to beat these, like they're barely possible and it's just super fun to do this without the jetboard. I mean, come on, I challenge you to beat the fourth one without a jetboard. I really want to see if it's possible. This one is pretty much like War Factory, like there's combat and platforming and Daxter sections that are fun. And but what actually makes this my third favorite mission in the game is the speed running route. Like you go up here for where you are supposed to return after finishing the quest normally, and you do some really, really satisfying concussor jump platforming with this. I love this sequence so much. But that's not what we're here for today. The actual level also just has really awesome platforming stuff in it. And I really like the Daxter slide, but they really didn't want you to cut any corners, so there's death planes everywhere. Yes, we're finally here! Oh my god, this is such a unique and cool sequence. Like, oh, you're in this top-down view and they took all your weapons except for a blaster with infinite ammo and you have to attack the enemies that come on your screen. Oh, this is so cool. Oh my god, like, this is so much mindless fun. Like, this isn't very difficult, you know, but this is so fun. If there was an entire game that was just this, like, I would play that forever. This is so cool. And then they drop weapons that give you another weapon temporarily, and oh baby, oh, this is so cool. Yeah, once again, they really didn't expect you to kill the bot blaster so fast. So there's like nothing happening except for a couple spiders every once in a while when you just take this one out with a couple spins. I love this mission so much, but there is only one mission that I like more than this one.
I'm number one!
You all know and love it. It's the Eco Mine. So fun fact, before I ever played Jak 3, I played Jak X. That was in a PlayStation Magazine demo disc, and my dad was so into Jak X that he went to the store with me to get it. And that one came with the Jack and Daxter DVD. That is like a cutscene compilation with Daxter narrating over it of the story of the first 3 games. And that's actually how I found out about Jack and Daxter, and that really made me want to get it. And so I had another demo disc that had a demo of Jak 3 on it with a couple missions that you could replay infinitely. And one of those missions was Eco Mine, and I played that to death without even owning the actual game. This location is peak platforming. Oh my god, I love this one so much. There is so much to it, so much satisfying movement. And when you get underground, this sequence is... this is so amazing when you get through this in one fell swoop with the jetboard. But it's also really nice to do it without the jetboard. There are some really cool ways to make it without the jetboard here as well. So there you have it, my ranking of every mission in Jak 3. This was a lot of fun to make, and if anything, it only motivated me to play Jak 3 more, so I think I'm gonna go do that now. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'm interested to hear what your ranking would be and where you disagree with me. What's your favorite mission? Anyways, I gotta go now and play Jak 3 on my PlayStation 5.